remember who thought of it, but somehow we decided we were gonna go to the Kitty Ranch, this legal brothel in Nevada. And I know you gotta pay for it, but no more virgin crap.
Gotta get Randy here laid.
You wanna get laid, huh?
Yeah.
You're trying to undress her, man. You're trying to get her naked and nail her.
Right, but I'm just kind of thinking about more than that.
You know, it's not all driving around chasing girls.
It's just a house. A weird house.
You're a virgin? You sure you like girls?
I feel like I've lost a piece of my brain, or I'm growing a new piece really, really, really fast.
That's awesome! What the hell is going on?
You okay? I don't know.
All those people out there, they're just pretending. Whatever's going on, it's just the man stepping on your groove.
Come on, Randy, let's go!
That's crazy.
Well, that's life. Can you explain yourself?
Guys, we can't all go at the same time. It would look suspicious.
Yeah.
Of what?
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Feeling Randy, arriving at the Lumiere Theater on November 1st. If you're in LA, and hitting all VOD streaming platforms on November 5th. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things Feeling Randy is the star, Randy himself, Dandy Randy, Reid Miller. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me.
Definitely a pleasure. Such a charming film. Such a sweet and relatable film. I know Randy very well. I think what makes it such a special film is we've all just grown up in questioning ourselves, questioning our sexuality, and discovering ourselves. And I just love how charming this film is. What was it like when you read for this project? So, when this came your way from Dean Lent, what was it like booking this gig?
You know, yeah, it's such a wonderful little film. You know, I'm so lucky that I got to be a part of it, that I got to help bring it to life. The process for actually booking the project was interesting because there wasn't an audition process for me. It was just an offer. He had seen my work. He had seen Joe Bell, which was a film that I did with Mark Wahlberg, and among some of my other stuff. And he saw me. He saw my projects, and he felt that I was a good fit. And he sent me the script. And I read it, and it really just deeply connected with me. You know, I mean, it's you said it yourself. I mean, it's a film about self-discovery. It's a film about self-love. It's a film about acceptance, about accepting who you are, about feeling free to be who you are and who you want to be. You know, it just has so many poignant, important, and really valuable lessons, especially for today. And when I read it, I just connected with that immediately. I connected with Randy because I am Randy. I think we're all Randy in a different way, and in all of our own ways. You know, we've all experienced the things he's experienced in our own way. And I just immediately saw myself in him. And granted, Randy is based on Dean, the director. But when I met with him the day after I received the script. And it was sort of like we were having our meeting of, okay, are we going to do this together or not? You know, like how do we click? Do we have the same vision? You know, it was we really just a meet and greet and see if this was the right fit for us. And you know, we hit it off right away. Just such a great guy. And you know, it was interesting because he said, you know, when we do the film, when we shoot this, you know, he's kind of giving me the reins in terms of the character. You know, he really wanted me to make Randy, you know, my own. He didn't want this to be like a biopic, you know, where I'm playing Dean. This is Randy. This is Randy's story, and that also really attracted me to the project was seeing how much faith he had and trust he had in me to bring it to life, to play a character so near and dear to him. I felt like I have to do this movie, because not only did it already affect me in a way, but he trusts me with his vision, and I don't want to let him down. So that was definitely, it was a very smooth process compared to some other processes I've been through. But I mean, it was just as rewarding.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's so shout out to Dean. I love that. That trust to have
Yeah.
faith in you as an actor, as a performer, to bring your own to it speaks volumes. And that just is beautiful. As an actor filmmaker myself,
Yeah.
I can totally relate to that. And that's just love it.
Yeah.
Um, with the demands of it. So when you finally read it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
it's Feeling Randy. It's a very sexual script.
Very,
What was
very,
that
very.
like? Because I know, in certain respects, as long as it's meaningful and with sexuality, I'm
Right.
very comfortable. I'm very European, if you in that regard,
Sure, 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 sure.
So
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like, but it's just all still about comfortability.
Mhm.
Have you ever done a role like this where you had to kind of be free with that and expressive?
Yeah.
And maybe mom and dad don't look at this, or maybe it's okay.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that
No,
like?
that's a great question. I mean, at that point, and even now, I had never done a project, um, TV or film that, had so much gratuitous content. And that scared me. When I read it, it definitely scared me because I hadn't talked to the director yet, so I didn't know like just how far he wanted to push it. And I think the way he went about directing it, it was very tasteful. It was always a very comfortable environment. There was always a closed set, and I mean, even for this my scene with Kerrice, the kiss scene, that seems so minute compared to the other scenes. But even for a scene as small and simple as that, there was still so much care put into the scene and making sure that we were comfortable. And I think that what makes it work in the film and what made it work on the day when we were filming it was everybody was very respectful. Everybody was just so respectful and honored each other's privacy. And specifically the scene where Randy loses his virginity at the Kitty Ranch. Um, my co-star in that was amazing. She was, just such a lovely person to work with, such a professional. I mean, I was terrified. I was very nervous. Um, and she just was so comforting, and we talked about it, and we really kind of opened up to each other, and it was because of that I think we were able to not only do it and it end up as good as I think it did, but I think there were so many other layers to that scene. To me, it's the best scene in the movie. Um, After it happens and they're just talking with each other. I mean, that scene is so good, and it's also uncomfortable. It's also funny. It's also kind of sad. And I think there was just almost sort of an unspoken agreement between everybody. It was just everyone was just there to tell a story. And this story just happened to have, that kind of content. And, even now, the film premieres November 1st, at the Lumiere Theater, and um, my parents are gonna go, and I, I've had to warn them, like, just FYI, like, it's, there's a lot of content in this, there's a lot of sexual content. I mean, even my wife, we had to let her know before we watch it, like, just so you know. So it's definitely different in that way, where I don't tell, like, there's some people in my life that, that I won't invite, or like I'll warn them just FYI before you watch it, because it's intense. There are some scenes in there that are pretty R-rated. Um, but I also want to say that it never, to me as an audience member, um, as well as an actor, it never crossed a line. Like if I felt like as a performer reading it, if I felt like this was um crossing a line or being used for shock value or anything like that, I would never have done it. But I think funny enough, the scenes that have that sexual content, weirdly enough, are the most important scenes in the movie because those scenes are when Randy is face to face, eye to eye with the thing that terrifies him the most. And I think that's what makes those scenes just so good and so important to the movie. If we didn't have those scenes, this movie I don't think would be what it is. And that's weird to say, but there are a lot of films I think that are exploitative, and this is definitely not one of those films. And even just having watched it, it definitely like gives me this breath of relief where I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a little uncomfortable, but that's also the point. It's not there to turn you on. It's not there to be sexy. It's not there to deliver an agenda. It's in a way very wholesome. And I think to me that's also what drove me to want to do this project was it just felt different in that way. And even how Dean talks about it, how he shot it, how it's written. I mean, it's just from beginning to end, those scenes never to me felt like this is too much.
Definitely. I completely agree with all of that. To throw my actor, filmmaker, critic hat on, if you will, I'm in complete agreement with you. Thought it was so well done and important for the title of the film. It's
Mhm.
it's important to the message of the film, and so tastefully done, so respected. It could go in that exploitive route, and nothing wrong with projects that do that. But
Sure.
I think this is very much in its lane and handles it very responsibly. And
Yeah.
your performance within all of that, and that scene, that, as you said, at the Kitty Ranch with your scene partner there. I just love the innocence and the layers that you both portray in that
Mm.
moment, which is so important because we're following this young man in his sexuality. And so, bravo to you, sir.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
well done. Speaking of the cast that you had the pleasure of working with, such a great cast, great group
Yeah.
of buddies, great parents, great
So,
sister. I love
yeah.
all those separate moments with all of these characters. Uh, what was that like building, that scene, that set family, which we love. I love my set family, those relationships, and when you were shooting this, because I'm not sure if this was during COVID times, which we were in,
Right.
what was that like working on this set?
You know, great group of people. Amazing group of people. So talented. When we shot this, this was a little bit after COVID. Like this was when things were kind of starting to return to normal where you could be on set and not have to wear a mask. Um, which helped, but I met everybody for the first time at the table read. Um, and it was just, immediately the movie came together. Just meeting them, talking with them. We hadn't even done the table read yet. I met Jonathan, Margaret, who play they play my parents, Tyler, uh, excuse me, Kerrice, just the whole cast. I met them and I was like, this is the movie. These people are the heart of the movie. And then doing the table read was just a whole other light switch. Like meeting them, I was just like, I felt a lot of relief. I was like, man, all these people they're great. They're great people. But then doing the table read, hearing it out loud and seeing them embody their characters, it's like, oh, that's that character. That's that character. There wasn't a single person that stood out that I was like, oh, I don't know. Everybody just fit like a glove and everybody worked together wonderfully. And everyone was just so great. And again, like sort of like what I said when I was talking about the sexual content. everybody was very respectful. Everybody came to set, came to this story, this journey, with everyone just had the same understanding of what story we were telling. And because of that, and because of the respect everyone gave the story and gave the script, everyone just did such a great job. Everyone left their ego at the door. This was a little indie movie. This was the little indie movie that could. Everybody who did this movie did it because they loved the script. They did it because they loved the material and they loved the story and not for any other reason. Sometimes you do a movie, it doesn't go anywhere. And you put a lot of hard work in, and that's okay. It's just a part of the business. But, we're very lucky. We're very blessed that this story that everyone worked so hard on that we had no idea what would happen with it is getting its day on the world stage. It's going to be in a theater for a week. That's amazing. It's then going to be video on demand, which is amazing. We're getting to do these interviews. I mean, it really is such an amazing um, evolution of this project, and the cast deserves it. They did just such a great job. They were so professional every day, so fun to work with, so funny. Um, and it just such good people. And I don't think I could think of anyone more deserving.
Definitely. And well said. I love that. Um, yeah, I watch a lot of films as a filmmaker who now just does this because I want to support my fellow creatives. And
Yeah.
I'm honored to speak with you.
Thank
Looking forward to seeing what you're going to do next, Reid. I thought just brilliant casting from Dean. We needed this role, demanded someone who has that innocence and that charm. And you embodied that, my friend, and
you.
just well done. And I just loved how we were able to see, even still, knowing some of the press notes that, this was based on Dean and, he is heterosexual, but I
Yeah.
think you could still, from what Randy displayed to us, he could, we don't know which way he might have finally went
Mhm.
at the end of the day. I think
Right.
it's still, which is beautiful. I think, at that age, you're still exploring your sexuality. And no matter where ends up, and I have love for everyone in that vein. As
Right.
long as you're not hurting nobody, just love yourself, love who you are, and
Right.
it's a beautiful thing. And I thought you just were outstanding in this role, and it is a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to chat with you, Reid.
Thank you so
When
much.
people catch this on November 1st, and even wider on November 5th, what do you hope people go away with from Feeling Randy?
Yeah, I hope people walk away from it feeling good. It's at the heart, yeah, there are some scenes that are sad. There are some heavy moments, there's some scary moments, but I mean, at the heart of it, this movie is it's a feel-good movie. It's this crazy wacky adventure about Randy figuring out who he is, and I hope that people who watch it, if there are people who watch it who are feeling the same way, who are feeling afraid to open up or afraid to be who they really are, I hope this movie gives them confidence. I hope this movie gives them the strength and the confidence and the excitement and joy of being who they are and not being ashamed of it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about, the country that we're in is we can do that. We can be whoever we want to be, like, and you said it well yourself, as long as you're not hurting anybody, then there's no issue. And so I think that this movie, I think, can speak to anybody and everybody if they allow it. I think this movie is very poignant for the LGBTQ community. I think it's very poignant to people who are bullied. I think it's very poignant to people who are still figuring out who they are and what they want in life. I think it's a movie about self-discovery. And Randy happens to be like a 15, 16-year-old kid, but it's never too early or too late to begin that journey. So I hope this film leaves people inspired. I hope it leaves them feeling good. I hope it makes them want to watch it again.
Loves that. Love that. Well said. I'm sure like yourself, I love films that entertain as well as inspire and educate and help people feel seen. It's so needed, and I love that. And well done, Reid. It is a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you so
For those
much.
that are checking this out, I have a lot of people that also listen to my interviews while they're on their commute. I also want to just show love to anything that you have going on. If you can maybe throw any promo to any other projects you have and or your handles, so my people can show you love and subscribe and check out your future projects like I'll be doing as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Well, so my Instagram is at the real blah, 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 at the real Reid Miller, and it's REID. That's my Instagram. That's the only page that I really have. It's I post everything on there from my personal life to my work life to upcoming projects. Right now, I'm working on a feature film that I wrote that I'm directing and also starring in, called Pretty Boy, which I've explained is like Joker meets Boys Don't Cry meets Mommy Dearest. It's a very crazy, intense psychological thriller. So that's what I'm currently working on right now. So if you want updates on that, if you want to be a part of that film or help get it made, go to my Instagram. You can find out more there. And just all I have to say is go see Feeling Randy. It's in theaters. It's at the Lumiere Theater in Beverly Hills, starting November 1st to the 5th. And then after that, it'll be on video on demand.
Definitely love that. Thank you, Reid. Such a great
Thank
talent.
you.
Can't wait to see what you're going to do next. When Pretty Boy drops, please come back and let's talk
Yes,
all of
sir.
that up. And again, like Reid said, Feeling Randy arrives at the Lumiere Theater on November 1st up until the 5th, and then all VOD streaming platforms on November 5th. Go check out Feeling Randy. Shout out to Reid Miller. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. And Reid Miller, I got you.
All right.
All right, let's count us in. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.